absolutely. Map, once again, is Xel'Naga Fortress. Great starting map for any matchup. I really love the GSL Xel'Naga Fortress map. It's very well balanced. It's wide open. There's a lot of room to breathe. I actually also really like the fact that the Xel'Naga Tower shuts down. I'm not a huge fan of Xel'Naga Towers. I think they provide way too much information to players, and I think you should have to get that information from scouting, not by holding a specific point on the map.
I'll get to that point in a second. It looks like the players have gone ahead and spawned here. We have Spanishiwa as the yellow Zerg at the 3 o'clock position of Xel'Naga Fortress, and we've got Complexity's Trimaster, the green Terran, at the bottom left-hand corner. Make some noise, guys. This is the beginning of the second match on the qualifier stage. Right.
There it is. So Spanishiwa, one of those players, he's very well known for the Spanishiwa build, which is that gasless, heavy Ling into Infestor style with good upgrades. A lot of times he'll grab dual Evos and transition into Ultras sometimes in the late game. And Trimaster, one of those, like I told you, I was watching him play several games against Zoc yesterday in the practice area, and he has great mechanics. He's very, very quick with his hands on the keyboard, and not in a stumbly way, not in a I'm just spamming APM way. He's actually very crisp.
It's kind of like watching Beethoven play the Ninth Symphony.
I can't say that I've ever done that.
It's pretty insane, man. Trimaster's very good with his hands.
Yeah, no, he's definitely real quick, and since he plays left-handed, it's actually really weird. The way his right hand hovers over the far left-hand side of the keyboard. I think I was watching his thumb, and his thumb was resting on Alt, and his index finger was on 2. And he was actually using his thumb and 1 and 2 with his index fingers to do control groups. It was pretty interesting.
Interesting. Well, I just want to call attention to the expiring Xel'Naga Fortress, which has already lost about 25% of its lifespan. I feel like in Zerg versus Terran, that's actually a slight detriment to Zerg because you really don't know when the Terran is going to push out with maybe that 1 base or 2 base timing attack, and Zerg players have to send maybe a Ling or 2 Overlords out across the map that may get killed off, and without that Xel'Naga Tower in the middle, Spanishiwa is going to be a little bit more in the dark when that timing push comes.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And it's also much easier for Zerg to hold on to the Xel'Nagas. Once you get Speedlings out, you can just push Marines off. The only real way for a Terran to hold it is with Marines and or Hellions.
The Lone Ranger SCV.
Yeah, but Marines are really easy to take out. SCVs are really easy to clear off. A pack of Hellions and or Blue Flame Hellions. It looks like we have a bunker coming up here from Trimaster. He put it in a pretty solid position there. He might actually be able to tuck that SCV in the corner there, but he actually stops building it for now, forces a few drones to come off the line for Spanishiwa, and I don't think he's going to commit to actually trying to get that up.
Yeah, he only built 1 barracks here, so I don't think he's going to commit to anything like that. Great raise on that supply depot, keeping the drone out of the way, but I think the drone did see the factory, so Spanishiwa should be aware of that barracks factory opening, which typically means that the Terran is going to move right into Hellion play. And if we take a look back at that bunker, it looks like Spanishiwa was able to kill off that SCV, so the bunker is not going to have any effect on Spanishiwa's game plan.
Nope. Picked off that first initial SCV, already has these 4 Lings out on the field. Trimaster needs to be careful here. These 2 Marines are most assuredly marching to their death right now. I'm not sure what he hopes to accomplish with these Marines. There we go. He's going to pull them back now, but they might actually get tracked down. The Zerglings are onto their scent. They're chasing them through the fields, and they smell a little bit of blood, but they're actually going to pull back, and he's just going to hold on to that Xel'Naga. As soon as he realizes that those Marines are there, he's probably going to give chase if he brings those other 2 Lings.
And we actually see Spanishiwa now not really giving chase, rather controlling that tower for the last 15% or so of its lifespan, just to have additional scouting information in the middle of the map. And a barracks factory expand out of Trimaster here. No doubt Hellions coming out of the reactor factory, and most likely we're going to see him control the map with those Hellions, and then really the ball's in Spanishiwa's court. What is he going to do to deal with that? Is he going to get roaches? Is he going to just rely purely on speedlings and spine crawlers, which is what Spanishiwa is really known for?
Yep. Well, he's going to get out this initial pack of Hellions here and then pressure Spanishiwa, try and figure out exactly what he's up to, what his unit composition is. We don't see any roaches yet out of Spanishiwa here. He has this single spine crawler. He may actually need a second spine crawler or some additional queens here. Once these Hellions make their way over to his base, he could find himself in a little bit of trouble. They could sneak their way around the back of his natural. They could just, run by that spine crawler entirely, but speed is about to finish here, and he does have 11 Zerglings ready and waiting above the ramp.
And Spanishiwa is very good about keeping a queen on the ramp, connecting the main and the natural at the very last second as well. He's very clutch about that, which of course prevents the Hellions from running inside the main. And you mentioned before, is Spanishiwa gonna get roaches? You don't see it yet. I really don't like early roach play if you've already got that spine crawler down. You show that you want to have that static defense for the Hellions, and really with that spine crawler up, you don't need to invest in roaches, unless of course the Terran's just going balls out mass Hellions.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly depends on the build. If he's going for Blue Flame Hellions, oh, and he might actually get the surround here. That's huge.
I think the Hellions have an access to get inside the main.
Yeah, but they're not going to do any damage. They've already taken so much damage here. Full surround, all 4 Hellions get taken out, and not too many Lings go down there. That's actually a pretty big come up for Spanishiwa right there. He's going to be able to retain map control now. You know, Trimaster doesn't really have any sense of security right now, so he's going to be on his back foot. And he's not going to have that forward scouting force with the Hellions that's so important as a Terran player to keep tabs on the Zerg and where he is on the map and where he's going.
And look at the army here for Trimaster. Anytime a Terran player loses his initial Hellions like that, they're really not going to have anything to fall back on. That's why Trimaster's throwing up that bunker. He's playing very scared right now. He doesn't know Spanishiwa is going to throw in a bunch of Lings at him. He just doesn't know. And so he's got to play super defensive right now. He's getting siege mode. He's getting combat shields to supplement those Marines as well. And for now, it looks like we're going to have a macro game between these two players.
Well, at least we know he's not going to forget siege mode or combat shield.
That's something that Terran players
We've
have been doing
tested
a lot.
quite a few games lately where players just forget about one of those 2 upgrades. And, you know, we've seen this time and time again where a Terran player goes to push out, gets about halfway to the Zerg base and realizes, oh my god, I don't even have siege mode. There's no way for me to push here, but keep faith. Trimaster has all his upgrades coming. Hopefully he doesn't forget about Stim. He's probably going to get that immediately after Combat Shield finishes here. And no Engineering Bay down just yet for him. It looks like he's actually going to try and hit a Combat Shield and Siege Mode timing push here. Going to move out with his first 2 tanks. 3rd tank is on the way. And a handful of Marines here. Looks like about 20 Marines going to make their way with this push. And does Spanishiwa have enough to hold this off? What does he have waiting? No Baneling speed, and I think this is actually pretty important. His Baneling nest is relatively exposed here. If he loses that Baneling nest as a result of this push because of that position, that could really end up hurting him.
Don't forget about these Banelings in the middle of the map. It looks like Spanishiwa has to pull Lings to defend the Banelings because that's all he's really got to deal with this Marine tank timing push. Now, Spanishiwa's creep spread, not too shabby, and this is actually going to halt the advance of Trimaster because it's just too risky to push onto the creep when you really don't know what the Zerg has waiting for you. So Trimaster drops the scan, slowly and methodically picks off the creep tumors, and this is going to allow Spanishiwa time to get enough forces to hopefully, if there's Spanishiwa fan, deal with this Marine tank push.
No, Spanishiwa's rally has been messed up this entire time. He tried to go for a flank there. He sent a few Zerglings around the back. They ended up getting picked off in mid. And then he also tried to run a bunch of Lings straight through the front, and those got picked off as well. So Trimaster actually doing a great job right now, and he's going to push straight into the front here. He has very good positioning with his tanks. Spanishiwa trying to set up for the flank. Baneling speed is not quite done. It's going to finish any moment now, and then I think we're going to have a huge conflict here.
Yeah, Spanishiwa is just buying time right now. Looks like the Baneling Nest will finish Baneling speed in time. Don't forget, Spanishiwa has some forces on the outside of the map as well, so he has the potential to flank or maybe run into the natural. We'll just have to see what he decides to do. He's producing 20 Lings right now. Let's hope he makes some Banelings before that nest goes down, and he doesn't make any additional Banelings, and he's only got 5 or 6, and I don't know, man, against that much of a Marine spread, it may be very tough, but he's going in regardless. Does he have enough to break this Marine tank contain? It looks like Baneling speed has kicked in, and it looks like he is going to have enough to kill off the tanks and Marines.
Yeah, he finally gets rid of that push, but I think some significant damage was done there by Trimaster. Yes, he lost his push, but he has held Spanishiwa to 2 base this entire time. He's been macroing up behind this. He is now taking his 3rd well ahead of Spanishiwa. Spanishiwa is going to have an option for 1 huge timing push here, but he's actually transitioning into mutas right at the same time. So he's not going to be able to push. He's making the muta transition off of 2 base, and right now I think he's falling farther and farther behind. Trimaster's really running away with this game, and Spanishiwa has to do some serious damage here if he wants to get back into it.
I can agree. And I mean, Yeah, a lot of times when the Zerg player kills off that entire Terran push, it looks like the Zerg player may be ahead, but Spanishiwa needs to deny this third expansion, and he's going in to do just that. Very good decision-making right there from him. And how many SCVs can he get off? It looks like he's going to get almost every single worker at that expansion. Kills off 14 in total. The Mutalisk also coming in, forcing the lift-off. Orbital Command and Trimaster delayed a little bit on getting that third saturated.
Yeah, great job right there
that was
from
super
Spanishiwa.
smart.
He needed to do some economic damage, and now he's actually quite a bit ahead, 53 to 38 harvesters. So Spanishiwa has really gotten back in the economic game. He's managed to even things up a little bit, and he's slowed down the third quite a bit. But Trimaster's pushing now. Still no Banelings out for Spanishiwa. Did he even rebuild that Baneling nest? He completely forgot to rebuild that Baneling nest. He has no Banelings whatsoever. These Marines have stim and combat shield and medevacs as well. They're just gonna rip through these lings and the mutas, and not Spanishiwa's in trouble.
The best engage here for Spanishiwa, man. He just ran his lings right through the gauntlet, and those Marines activating stim, destroy everything. And Trimaster now given the green light to take out the third hatchery of Spanishiwa. Big blunder right there, not remembering to build that Baneling nest again. And you know, without Baneling support, you're not going to hold off Marines.
Yeah, and I know I said that earlier. I thought the Baneling nest might have even gone down before Speed even finished. And now look at this. The Baneling nest is going up in a position where it's actually in range of the tanks at the natural right now. So the tanks are going to be able to pick off that Baneling nest again if he wants to. And that's just going to be a very, very tough situation for Trimaster, or for Spanishiwa to get out of it, excuse me.
Absolutely. And now the medevac elevating the troops on the high ground with tank support on the low ground as well. This is never a situation that a Zerg player ever wants to be in, but there is a counterattack from Spanishiwa. He runs right into the main. The supply depot was not up, and it looks like the Lings and Mutas may be able to run rampant in the SCV line, so Spanishiwa could do a lot of damage here.
Trimaster didn't get the supply depot up. He's going to take so many losses here, but he did leave his natural wide open. He might be able to hold this off if he can stop the push from Trimaster. He's definitely still got a shot in this game. Trimaster forgot to put his depot up. He let all the Zerglings into his main, and he loses. What a comeback from Spanishiwa right there. Oh man, Trimaster must be kicking himself in the head of that.
Well, Trimaster certainly had a slight edge